Hey guys, one of the first videos I uploaded to this YouTube channel was a tutorial on how to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube using the layer by layer or beginner method. Since reviewing that video and speaking to a couple of non-cuber friends of mine, it looks like that video at times can be a little confusing to non-cubers. So in this video I'm going to redo a 3x3 tutorial using the beginner or layer by layer method. I'm hoping to make it a little bit easier. My goal with this channel is to get people who have never solved Rubik's Cube before to learn how to solve one and hopefully get them into cubing. The beginner method, there is 8 simple steps to solve the cube. Step 1, we're going to do what cubers call making the daisy. We're going to pop 4 white edges around the yellow centre. So grabbing your scrambled cube, find the yellow centre and hold that to the top. Next, what you want to do is find an edge piece that has white on it. So not this one here, this is a corner piece. It has 3 colours on it, white, orange, blue. We want to find an edge piece. These are edge pieces here, they only have 2 colours on them. So here's a white piece here. Bring that to the top so it's around the yellow centre. Finding another one here. If we bring that right to the top like that, it's up the top but it's not next to the white centre, is how we want it. So we'll bring it back down, bring it like that, and then move it up like that. Finding another one here. Bring that up, and the last piece is here, but if we bring that straight up like that, it's going to kick this piece out here. So what we can do is we can turn the top layer to where there's a spot here where there's not a white edge, bring that up, and there we have the daisy. Step 2, we want to build a white cross on the bottom, and also in doing so making sure that the other colours on these edge pieces are lined up with their corresponding centres. So this is the blue-white edge. It's lined up with the blue centre, red lined up with the red centre, green lined up with the green centre, and orange lined up with the orange centre. Okay, so locate a white edge piece on the top, find the second colour, here is blue, and turn the bottom of the cube until that is lined up with the blue centre. Then we want to turn that twice, pops it down on the bottom, the white line up with the white, blue line up with the blue. Find another edge piece on top with the white, this one is green, turning it so it's above the green, and do the same thing, turn it twice so it's on the bottom. This one is red, we want to rotate the cube until we're above the red centre, and do the same again. And finally, the orange, on the orange, turn it twice so it's upside down. If we look on the bottom of the cube, we now have a white cross, and all of our edge pieces should be lined up with their corresponding centre, green on green, orange on orange, blue on blue, red on red. Step 3, solving the white corners. In doing so, we will solve the entire white face and the first layer. Now to do this, we need to learn a 4-step move that cubers call the sexy move. So holding the cube such as this, turn the right side up away from you with your right index finger, pull the top side towards you, turn the right side back down towards you, and with your left index finger, the top side towards you. That is called the sexy move, and you want to practice that because we're going to be using that particular move throughout the rest of the solve. Okay, once you're comfortable with that, practice it on the left side as well. So turning the left side away from you with your left index finger, top side towards you, bringing the left side back down, and with your right index finger, pulling the top side towards you. So practice that as well. And we'll call that the left-handed sexy. Okay, so once you're comfortable doing either the right hand or the left hand sexy, find a white corner piece in the top layer, and the other 2 colours on it, this one is orange and blue. So what you want to do is find the orange and blue centres, which is here, putting it directly above it. And you want to take note of where the white is. Is it on the left? Is it on the right? Or is it on the top? In this case, it's on the left. So what we want to do is we want to hold it so it's on the left-hand side. And we do the left-hand sexy move. And it's in there between the orange and the blue and the white. Now here's one here, white, orange and green, and the white is on top. So orange and green, we find the orange and green centers, which is here. Hold it on the right hand side this time and do the sexy move 3 times. 3, and that solves it. Okay, here's another white corner here. This one has red and green on it. So locate the red and green centers right here. And the white is on the right hand side this time, so holding it so the white is on the right, do the right hand sexy. And that solves it. And finally, blue and red, above the blue and the red, it's on the left hand side the white this time, so left hand sexy. And that solves the entire white face as well as the bottom layer. Now you might run into a situation like this where around the top you can't find any white corners. If you look at the bottom layer, it's not solved. So this one here, for example, the white is orientated correctly, but this is blue and red. It doesn't belong in this spot between the orange and the blue centers. And this spot here, the white's not even orientated correctly. And again, but it's orange and blue, so it's not in its correct spot. So if you ever run across this case, really quite simple. Just holding it so it's on the right hand side and just do the sexy move, and that brings it up to the top layer. Sometimes you might get lucky, and if you've got this one here, for example, is orange and blue in the wrong spot, by solving this piece here, which is red and blue, putting it above the red and blue, do the left-handed sexy because the white was on the left-hand side, it's kicked this piece out. So then we simply move that above the centers it belongs over, the white is on top, so we do the sexy move 3 times, and that solves it. Step 4 is solving the second layer. So when we're done, the cube will look like this. Okay, what you want to do is locate any edge piece in the top layer that does not have yellow on it. So this one here has yellow. We don't want to worry about that one. This one here has red and blue. What you want to do is find the piece that is in this top layer here, not on the top face, but this top layer. This is blue. And rotate that around until it is above the blue edge. Ignoring this piece here, you can see that the corners, the edge and center makes an upside down T. So looking at the piece that is on top, it is red. Find the red center. It's to the right of the blue. What you want to do is you want to turn that away, so to the left. And then we do the right hand sexy. Rotate the cube to the left, so we're now facing the red center, and do the left hand sexy. And you'll notice that we have popped that edge piece into where it goes. Finding another edge piece without yellow on top, this one here has blue and orange, so move that above the blue center, so it again makes the upside down T. Looking on top, it is orange this time. Orange is to the left of blue, so this time we move it to the right, away from the orange, and we do the left hand sexy. Rotate the cube and do the right hand sexy, and that solves that piece. Here's another without the yellow, orange and green. Green is on the side, so we move that above the green center. Orange on top, orange is to the right of green, so we move that away to the left, do the right-handed sexy, rotate the cube, and do the left-handed sexy. And finally, this one here, green and red. Green is on the side, moving it above the green center. Red on top, red is to the left of green. Moving it away, do the left hand sexy, rotate to the right, do the right hand sexy. Now you may run across a case like this where in the top layer you can't find any edge piece that does not have a yellow piece on it, but looking around the cube, and it is not solved, the second layer. So find the piece that is not solved here, and holding it on the right hand side, just do the right handed sexy. You'll notice that it's dislodged this white corner. So rotate the cube, holding it on the left, do the left handed sexy, that's popped it back in, and now a piece that wasn't solved is in the top layer. So it's red on the side, moving it above the red, green on top, turn it away from the green, do the right-handed sexy, rotate, left-handed sexy. Step 5, we want to make a yellow cross on the top layer. Okay, what we want to look for first is how many yellow pieces are on top around our yellow center. In this case, there are none. What we want to do is pull this front side down to the right like this, do the right-handed sexy, and bring it back up. That'll give us two yellow edges adjacent to each other. What we want to do is move those so they are in the left and the back, and do the same thing again, front side down, right-handed sexy, front side back up. That'll give us two yellow edges opposite each other, creating a horizontal line, and making sure that that line is horizontal, do the same thing one more time, front side down, right-handed sexy, bring the front side back up, and that'll give us our yellow cross. Step 6, we want to get all of our top layer edge pieces above their corresponding centres. So the green one here above the green centre, red above the red centre, the blue edge above the blue centre, and the orange edge above the orange centre. So what we're going to do first is look around the cube and how many of our edge pieces are above their correct spot. Here, blue is above blue, but none of the others are in their correct spot. So let's just turn the top layer once and see what happens here. Now we've got none above the top. Turning it again, and we've only got one here, red. Turning it one final time, and here we go, we've got two. We want to try and find two if we can, adjacent to each other, such as this, and holding them in the back and the right, you want to do these following moves. So let's start off with the first three moves of the sexy move. Now instead of bringing this piece back as we do in the sexy move, we want to turn it away one more time with the right hand, like that. And then bring this piece back up, and then turn the top layer twice, put that back in. And looking around the top layer, it looks like none of the pieces are in their correct spot, but if we turn the top layer once, well, here we'll find blue above blue, red above red, green above green, and orange above orange. Now if you ever find a position like this where no matter how much you rotate it around, you cannot find two pieces adjacent to each other, you can only find opposite, like this here, just holding it so one's in the front, do those same moves I showed you before, and what you'll find is that'll give us two that are adjacent to each other here, blue and red. Just holding them in the back, and do those same moves again. And you'll notice that that will solve all your edge pieces. Step 7, we want to get the entire top face yellow, such as this. So what we want to do first is find a corner piece that is not solved, such as this. The yellow is not on top. Put the cube upside down so that this piece is in the bottom right hand side. And what you want to do is you want to do the sexy move, and you'll continue to do that until this yellow piece is facing the bottom. So once doesn't do it, twice has done it. Now ignore that this top piece here is unsolved now. We will fix that in a moment. If you turn only the bottom layer, we want to bring another unsolved corner into this spot here by only turning the bottom layer. You don't want to turn the whole cube. You don't want to put this corner here, which isn't solved, for example, in the right here. You want to turn the bottom layer only. And do the same thing again. Do the sexy until this yellow piece is solved. Once, twice, still not solved. 3, 4. And you'll notice that as long as you've done that correctly, the rest of the cube has resolved itself. Turning it back up the top, lining all of our edge pieces back up again, and the top layer is solved. In that last example I showed you, there were only two corners that weren't solved. Now in a case like this where we have no corners solved, you just do the same thing again, but you just repeat the process. So holding an unsolved corner here in the right hand side on the bottom, do the sexy move until it is solved, rotating the bottom layer only until we have another unsolved corner in this spot, sexy again until it's solved, rotating the bottom layer again, sexy until it's solved. Rotating the bottom layer again. Sexy until it's solved. And the rest of the cube solves itself. Realign all of our edges. Step 8, we'll be solving these corners and thus finishing the solve of the cube. It will look like this when it is done. Okay, so find a corner and the top layer here that is not in its correct spot. So this is the orange and blue edges, and this corner has red and blue on it. So that belongs over here between the blue and the red edge piece. So holding it so it's on the right hand side, I'm going to bring this right side down, turn the bottom layer so it's away from this piece, bring the right side back up. Now what we're going to do is turn the top layer only, not the whole cube, just the top layer only, so that we have the blue and red edge pieces here. It's like that. We want to turn the right side down, and this time bring the bottom layer back across. So that lines up like that, and bring that back up. And as you can see now, the red and blue corner is between the red and blue edge pieces. So ignore that this is messed up here, because we will fix that as we go. Now we notice here we've got a yellow corner down on the bottom. Now this one has red and green on it. So what we're going to do is turn the top layer, again only the top layer, until we have the red and the green edges above this spot. Now turn the right side down again, and what you want to do this time, the yellow piece is over here, not over here. So we want to turn the bottom layer, only the bottom layer here. That lines back up there, bring that back up. And finally, we've got another yellow corner over here. It is blue and orange on it this time. So turning the top layer only until we have the blue and the orange edge pieces here. Bring this side down, bringing this across like that, and bring that back up. And that will solve the cube. Now I'll show you what you do if you have a situation here where none of your corners are in the correct spot. You just find any unsolved corner. This piece here has red and blue on it. So we turn this down like that, the right side down, the bottom layer away like that, the right side back up. Now remember it was blue and red, so we turn the top layer until we find the blue and red edge pieces here. Turn the right side down, it's over here, so we bring that back across and bring that up. And that pops the corner between the red and the blue edges. Now this one here has orange and green on it, so rotating the top layer until we have the orange and green above it here. Turn the right side down, bottom side across here like this, and bring that back up. So that has two corners solved, and we have no yellow down the bottom here. So what we need to do is find one of the yellow corners that isn't solved, this one here. It's got orange and blue above it, so we want to bring it down. Now before we bring it down, we're noticing that this is more messed up than it is solved. So that is how we know that the bottom layer gets turned that way, if it is more messed up. If it is more solved down the bottom here than it is messed up, then you turn it this way. Okay, so bringing that down, turning the bottom layer that way, bringing the right back up. This is what I mean how it is more solved here. So this is how we know to turn the bottom layer that way when we bring it down. So blue and orange, find the blue and orange edge pieces here. Let's bring that down, bring that across, and bring that up, and that pops that in where it belongs. And finally, yellow piece down here with green and red on it. Locate the green and red edges, here they are here. Bring that down, bring that back in line there, and bring that up. And that solves all the corners. And here we just align the top layer to solve the cube. That is pretty much all you need to know how to solve a Rubik's Cube using the beginner method or the layer by layer method. Now, if you were able to follow along this tutorial and solve a cube for the very first time, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Also, in the description below, I'm going to link other videos that are on my channel, including how to get faster on 3x3, as well as a couple of other tutorials for different puzzles. Other than that, thanks for watching and happy cubing.